Okay, let's dive right in. We've got a story for you today that sits at this wild intersection of high art and high tech. And honestly, it might just flip everything you think you know about creativity on its head. So let me ask you something. Can an AI write a novel? I mean, a real novel? It's a question that sounds like it's straight out of a sci fi movie, right? Can a machine, just a bunch of code, actually create what we call literature?
Well, what if I told you it's not science fiction anymore? It just happened. An AI generated novel wasn't just written, it actually won a national literary award. Yeah, you heard that right.
So, the big question is how in the world does a piece of software go from code to a prize winning author? Let's get into it.
All right, so here are the key players. Our story starts with Professor Shen Yang from the super prestigious Tsinghua University in Beijing. He has this cool idea for a science fiction novel called Land of Memories. But here's the twist. Instead of hunkering down and writing it himself, he uses a generative AI to do the heavy lifting. And the result? I mean, this is the crazy part. It didn't just get published. It actually won a national award for sci-fi in China. And the story itself, it's got this great classic sci-fi vibe. You've got this explorer, Li Zhao, who's on a mission to get her lost family memories back. The catch is, she has to go to this place called the Land of Memories. And here's the irony. The place you go to find memories actually erases the memories of anyone who goes in. So you're trapped there forever. Pretty cool concept, right? Okay, so this is the part that I find absolutely fascinating. How does a machine actually write a novel? Let's break down the process. It all started with Professor Yang giving the AI a series of really detailed instructions. And get this, it only took 66 prompts. And from those prompts, the AI spit out an entire manuscript in just 3 hours. 3! A full draft of 43,000 characters. I mean, just think about that. That's a speed and a skill that most human writers can only dream of. But you know, it wasn't just about raw speed. The really interesting part is how he prompted the AI. He didn't just say, write me a story. No, he got specific. He told it to write in the style of Kafka. And that changes everything, doesn't it? It shows this wasn't just a machine working alone. It was a human-machine collaboration, where the human was the artistic director. So you can probably guess what happened next. When the literary world found out the author was an algorithm, oh boy. The reaction was, let's just say, it was complicated.
I mean, look at this. The judges themselves were completely split down the middle. The book won its prize with only 3 out of the 6 judges voting for it. A perfect 50-50 split. It squeaked by on the narrowest margin possible, and you better believe that kicked off a huge debate. On one side, people praised its technical skill. You had an editor calling it well executed and logically consistent, but the critics, they were just as loud. One of the judges who voted it down said it flat out lacked emotion and just wasn't on the same level as a human writer. Another went even further, warning that this kind of thing could be a real threat to literary language itself. And you know, all this back and forth, it really forces us to step back and ask a much bigger, much deeper question. What makes a novel, or any piece of art really, what makes it real? What makes it authentic?
So, one way to think about it is that there are kind of two goals for storytelling. First, there's entertainment. You know, stuff that's all about plot twists and just keeping you distracted. And an AI, it can be an incredible machine for that. But then, there's literature. And literature is about something else entirely. It's about exploring the human soul. And for that, the critics say, it all comes down to one thing: style. So what even is style? We're not just talking about vocabulary here. It's like the unique fingerprint of a writer's entire life. It's their childhood, their heartbreaks, their anxieties, their dreams, their whole way of being in the world. It's the music of their soul, captured in a sentence. It's the sum of a lived life, poured onto the page. And this quote here, it just nails it. A novel, first and foremost, is about style. And that style doesn't come from a machine, it comes from the depths of the writer. An AI doesn't have a life story. It has no history, no soul to pull from. All it has is a giant database of other people's stories. It can get really good at mimicking style, for sure, but can it create it from a place of real lived experience? That's the question. And here's the thing. This book, Land of Memories, it's not some one-off, isolated experiment. Oh no, this is part of a much bigger trend that's growing, and it's growing fast. I mean, just look at what's already out there. An AI wrote a whole road trip novel trying to sound like Jack Kerouac. An AI called Benjamin wrote a screenplay called Sunspring. There's even a romance novel that was co-written by a human and an AI. And just last year, a mystery novel came out that was written with help from ChatGPT. So yeah, this isn't some future thing. It's happening right now.
So where does this all leave us? It seems like there are three possible paths forward for AI in art. Is it just going to be a tool, basically a super smart word processor? Or will it be more of a collaborator, a creative partner working alongside human artists? Or, and this is the big one, does it eventually become a competitor? Something that could actually replace the human author?
And that leaves us with one last kind of spooky question to think about. As this tech gets better and better, more seamless, more sophisticated, that line between what's made by a human and what's made by a machine is just going to get blurrier and blurrier. So the next great novel you pick up, will you even know who or what wrote it? Will you know if it came from a human soul or silicon chip? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.